Greetings, fellow 7 Days to Die fans. This is Small Archangel, and welcome to my creative zone. This is a new save I've created in Alpha 10 in order to make all the things that imagination dictates. So anything at all, really, just random and the marvellous and the just plain weird. I've got no zombies here at all to interrupt me in my work, so I can just enjoy the beauty of the world and build like a kid with bricks, which is great. Much as I love the zombies and the hordes and the survival, sometimes I just want to build, and that's what I'm doing here. So this video is just to show you my new base build, which is basically just a concept that I'm toying with. It's taken me 17 days to build, so it's a good job that I didn't have the zombies on, because I would have had to deal with 2 hordes in that time, and I'm not sure how I would have fared when I was building something. And basically I have just gone for aesthetic design over defensive capability, form over function. And sometimes you just get a little bit tired in this game of the grim grind and the dreariness, and you just want somewhere nice to hang out after you've finished your day's zombie slaying. And with that in mind, I built this latest base. Now, I have done bases before that look nice, as well as, hopefully doing the job of protecting us. I will put a link in the description actually to another video I've done of 9.3 I think of an aesthetic design base, which I put in the city. I wouldn't even begin to try that now. The city is just way too insane. So basically I got the inspiration for this base when I saw this huge cliff. There's lots of cliffs in the wooded biomes, but you don't normally see one quite this big, and it just gave me the idea to dig a base out of it, and here we are. Here we have it. This is my new base design. Whether it'll ever make it into one of my plays, I don't know, but basically just dug straight back into the cliff. Should be fairly secure as long as zombies don't learn how to dig. As far as I'm aware, they still don't dig straight downwards. They don't seem to have too much concept of the vertical axis. And the other thing that they're very reluctant to do is fall any great distance at all. So I'm hoping that they wouldn't be inclined to, jump off the top of that cliff when they were hunting me and drop down in front of my base there, and then start pounding to try and get in. But just in case, I put that roof up there with, as you can see, some spikes on the top, just to kill them before they can start destroying and beating their way all the way through into the top of the cliff, which is uncomfortably near my head. And yeah, my hope is that they would fall off the roof into my moat, into those 2 little pools I've got in front of the house, or at worst case scenario into the yard there, and then sort of obviously start sort of pounding on the door. But at least I have built the front of my base with that in mind. So yeah, at least they wouldn't land on my windowsill, which is actually an anti-spider zombie shelf, to try and stop spider zombies from getting up to those windows, because if they did, it would be a couple of punches and game over, I think. So anyway, the moat, tried and tested. I haven't used one of these since Alpha 10 came out actually, so I'm not entirely sure whether it would still work as effectively against hordes as it did back then, but it was, as I recall, so effective that I actually nixed it in the end, because it was too good. It was doing far too much of my work for me, and just swallowing entire hordes just disappeared into the moat and never came out again. They obviously can't get out, but I've also lined the bottom with trunk tip spikes, which of course kills them off pretty effectively. If you're on the bank and you've got a bunch of them in there, you just need to kite them round the edge of the edge of this, and it doesn't take long for even the cops and the fat zombies to keel over before they can get too much damage in. But just in case, I've lined the whole thing out with reinforced concrete. So one downside with the moat is that again, a recent update has kind of nerfed our ability to get across the moat the way we used to be able to. I mean, I'm all in favour of realism in games, and it was a bit stupid that we could kind of virtually walk on water, but at the same time I think it's also realistic that if we were in water we could climb out onto that bank, but at the moment you can't, so I've had to revert to wood frame drawbridge there, which then you have to remember to pick up after you, otherwise who knows what's going to come across after you. I've also put 2 pools here. They look nice, but the other thing is that they are built on the same basis as the moat, so if anything gets across, again, I hope that it will fall into those moats either from up there or just generally, because those ponds have also got trunk tip spikes in, and I will be very careful not to fall in them myself, because again, if I fall in there I can't get out, so it does mean I have to be careful myself. That is the downside of that. Okay, so I've put a little bit of a garden here just for effect. My front wall here as it's is built pretty strongly, actually. It's stronger than the actual surrounding stone, but again, with the moat being there, I'm hoping the zombies aren't going to be able to pound into that. Knowing zombies, they'll probably somehow manage to glitch and just stand there beating crap out of the wall while standing on precisely nothing. I've seen that before, and I'm not sure there's a lot we can do about it really, but there you go. So I've actually got 3 layers here in this wall. I've got the outer layer of cobblestone, which is one of the more robust materials in game. It's got 3 stages to destroy it. Then the less attractive but even more robust reinforced concrete, which has 5 stages to destroy it, so that's seriously strong stuff. And then the inside I've just lined with brick, which is pretty soft to be honest, but it looks like the right thing to line out a cellar with. And yeah, sorry for going all RP here, but that's basically what this is about. I've got a storage cellar here, so I put shelf in and put lots of, so this is my food storage, and for glass jars, there's absolutely nothing in this. So I haven't been playing, I've just built it. Load of glass jars, that's about all I've got. I've got my forge room with storage for ores on one side and stuff for smelting down, and for fuel on the other. That's all stuff I mined out while I was digging this place up. And then through this extra security door I've got more storage, so I've arranged my building supplies and materials chests on this side. We need even more of these supply chests. I think we need them for medical supplies and stuff as well. And then my guns and ammo stuff on this side. A couple of gun safes. I like to have gun safes for completed weapons. There's nothing I hate more than having to run round going, which of these many identical chests have I got my stuff in. Then one extra bulkhead door, if you like, to just in case my defences get breached. And up into the base proper, which I've done out as nicely as I possibly could. Again, I've used the cheat menu fairly extensively, under the assumption that eventually we are going to be able to make every block in game, or loot it, or otherwise obtain it without having to cheat. Some things you can pick up, the paintings and the plants. Excuse me. Other things, I mean, this wall can be broken and picked up, but other things such as these doors, not creatable in game, but they look rather better than the other ones, which is why I chose them. So I've done a bit of a study here to store my books in. Obviously I've had to use a cheat menu to obtain a lot of this furniture. I like these new candles actually. The lighting is really nice. Torches are all very well for a cave, but something like if you haven't got electricity, and we haven't got generators yet, these candles cast a really nice glow and a really nice ambient light actually. I'm very fond of them. And then here is my main living area. And obviously the main thing that I really wanted to play with here was the windows. You just never have windows in a zombie base, particularly not glazed windows, because it's just not a good idea. But I really miss that. If you build underground, you miss the daylight, you miss seeing the moonlight, just miss the light really. And the dynamic shadows, I mean, they look so nice and you just don't see them otherwise. And having that really nice view, it looks great at dawn actually. Looking out here looks fantastic. So it's all worthwhile just for the windows. And this glass, a reasonably new block in game actually, which is really nice. It's just unbroken glass, which you can put in there without the aid of any sort of wood frames in between or anything. You just build it up, literally build it up from the bottom, just in case anybody wants to give it a try. Don't build it from the top down unless you want all to fall down and cut your head off. Obviously I wasn't stupid enough to do that. No. And then I have my living area and kitchen. Some functionality there obviously. I tend to keep my fresh food stuffs in the fridge. I know it's not turned on, but and then lots of wall space, cupboard space and everything to keep my jars and foodstuffs in. And beverage cooler, I like to have somewhere recognisable and cool looking to keep my beer in, for when I find a beer and whatever else, goldenrod tea. And then obviously a fireplace, which if you make them big enough you can fit two campfires in, and 2 campfires side to side means more heat map hordes probably, but it also means you can use a cooking pot and a grill at the same time as well. And I fancied the fireplace up a bit with some decorative blocks, which again I'm not absolutely sure you can make those in the game yet, but they do look very nice. So I'm hoping that eventually we'll be able to use make and use all of these blocks. This glass up on my mezzanine is another new block, and it makes a really nice modern style fence, which is very in keeping with the build. I've got my open plan bedroom here with plenty of storage for clothing, armour and meds. And I really like these standing candles. They're fab. The flame is really nicely animated. Again, it casts a really nice glow and very nice atmosphere. I have marked this as my base on the map by putting down a bed. Not this bed, because this bed, yeah, they don't currently work as beds in the game. They don't have that functionality for respawning. So what I've done, and what I tend to do if I'm building a nice base, is I've actually buried one of the old iron frame beds in the wall behind the bed. And I've done that before without any particular problems. I've buried it under the floor before without any issues. I've yet to test whether respawning here will stick me in the middle of the wall or somewhere where I can't get out of. So fingers crossed on that one. Oh, and of course the bathroom. Again, it's all about looking nice, but again, there's some functionality. We can get water from the toilet, or if, like me, you prefer the bath. Myself, I far prefer getting water out of the bath than the toilet. But yeah, I know you're supposed to get it out of the cistern, not the bowl. And I've put a shower in there as well, although the taps are rather hovering in the middle of nowhere. It does look quite cool. So there you have it. My entire base. It's not epically huge, but then it doesn't need to be. And as I say, I think the only real weak place in the whole thing are these windows here. Obviously one hit with, from anything whatsoever, and it's going to sort of break large amounts. I mean, I kind of hope that if a bunch of zombies started pounding on that glass, however they got there, that it would then all fall down on their heads and kill them like it did with me, but probably not. That would be just my luck. So there you have it, a base that looks and feels more like a home and less like your self-imposed prison. Again, I may play test it at some point just to see if it really is, well, Fort Knox or a sitting duck. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's given you some good ideas for getting creative in 7 Days to Die, because yeah, we should all probably do more of that kind of thing. It's kind of cool, and when the fighting and the shooting gets all too much, this is really quite nice. So thanks for joining me, guys, and see you next time. Bye bye.